live concurrently over at Discord, but we are at the moment in a shared co-working space. We're waiting to see if anyone just drops in to say hello to us, which may or may not happen.
Yeah,
But in
good
the
morning.
meantime, go ahead, Kyle.
Hey, my name is Kyle, and this is the Founder's Way, episode number 20, talking about sharing challenges of the startup. Something you probably know about, Jake.
Absolutely. We are the Founders Way. We are a podcast that started with a shared interest and love of Reddit and the startup subreddits and entrepreneurship subreddits, and we are also exploring other um, ecosystems where people like to share and discuss entrepreneurship and startups. And today we are talking about challenges, of which I, as an early stage fintech, have seen a few.
Tell me about
Life
that.
life feels a bit like. Do you remember that old movie called The Wizard of Oz?
Yeah, I do.
And you're like trying to walk down the yellow brick road, and you constantly get attacked
Yes.
by
You ever watch
spider
that with
monkeys.
Dark Side of the Moon playing behind it?
I always wanted to do that. I've never actually done it, but I was so enthralled by the idea that those intersected.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. If you see the MGM lions start to appear, that's when you press play on the CD, and they'll they're remarkably in sync with each other.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do that someday. I might have to. Might be the way I have to introduce my children to the Wizard of Oz. But so for me at the moment, navigating a startup is a lot like uh, Wizard of Oz, and there's new challenges every day. And particularly, I believe I have been through the Valley of Death.
Oh
We
yeah.
we've been low on funds, and trying to build stuff has costed more, and we lost a key partner, not having to do with our product, but there was something else that happened out in the world that brought them away from us. Um, and so, yeah, it's a little bit like Super Mario Brothers, but every time you level up, things just get harder. Like everything just
Yeah.
moves faster and like gets harder. And so it's been interesting. But I've been through the Valley of Death, and we have some products that are coming together. And now that I see them, like they're starting to work with each other, and they're starting to get some interconnectivity. And the dev has a more straightforward goal about what's going to come next, and so it's pretty exciting, man. But I need a product that can actually get in front of people. Like trying to sell people something that's not ready or is half baked, even though they say that's what you're supposed to do, is a bit of a challenge. When you don't have things that are tangible that you can show people and get in front of them, it's tough. So I'm getting
Yeah.
close to a place where I can actually get something in front of them, customized, and
Mhm.
theoretically it may work in some way. In some way, it may do something that maybe helps them. Um, so that's like extremely exciting to me.
That is exciting. And it's the chicken and egg problem. It sounds like it's hard to sell something that doesn't exist. You almost have to sell an idea, a concept.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of people do with investors, right? And that's what kind of baffles and annoys me, is that you have these people going out in the environment of the previous months and last year, raising millions of dollars on concepts with no revenues and just ideas, and they've not built anything. And we've had a tough time trying to explain a complex product to investors. And
Yeah.
you have these other people out there just winging a slide deck out there and getting millions of dollars, and it's frustrating, man.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. There's something I wanted to share. Last week, I was involved in a kind of a pitch fest, I guess is the
Yeah,
best way to describe it.
pitching
We had
competition online or in person.
it was over Zoom. It was local here at the in a venture capital networking event here in Austin,
I would have thought
and
there'd
I
be
think
a lot of those in Austin.
yeah, there is. There's a lot of VC flowing around here. And so I was on the investor side, and then we had 8 companies on the pitch side. And they were very interesting. But what I've noticed is that by and large, I think the The smallest company had $500,000 in revenues, going. Or no, that's not true. I think it was about 50,000, right? But there were some that also had a couple of million in revenues, and they're really going for a Series A. They're all asking for between 300 and $2 million. Um, uh, and they had the team in place. A lot of them were working, for free. Um, and they had a product, but they had ambitions to grow the product, grow the team, and that was pretty consistent across the board. I don't know
How
if
so
that
that
is.
they were ambitious to grow the team, or can you be more specific about that?
Yeah. Well, they wanted to grow the team. One guy was like, "Yeah, I want to raise 2 million for sales and marketing." They were just straight up. That's what they're going to do. Others were, we want to grow the team. We want to start paying the team. Um, we want to develop the product further. Right? They had an MVP and they had aspirations. Um, One of them was pretty cool. Actually, there was one or two that I thought were like, oh, that's something that I would invest in. The others I didn't understand um, very
Can you
well.
share maybe, what was something you
Yeah,
liked without maybe, outing them?
yeah. There's one company that they had um, a battery product. It was batteries, and so what it was portable power. And it was cool because you could stack these power modules like Legos, and they're all lithium ion phosphate based. Um, and you could just scale the power by stacking them together like a Lego, and that was really cool. They already had customers. They were doing these rave events, I guess. They were providing power for like Burning Man, that kind of thing.
It's good.
Um,
A lot of
and
notoriety.
they had about a 500,000 in revenue, and they were really trying to crank it up. To they want to do tens of millions in revenue, but they needed more investment in their product. And they wanted to increase sales channels because they want to put these in people's homes too, as like a power wall, for solar generation. Um, there was another one, I guess, kind of on the other end of the scale. There was another one that was um, they were providing services to. Here's the problem: when you die, right? You've got accounts everywhere, passwords everywhere. Your estate is a mess to try to figure out because nobody can get into your accounts, right? And so it's
Yeah,
about having all that set up, right? It's a service where you set it up so that, okay, here's all the accounts. Here's a vault where, the executor can get in and get access to all this money, right? So that they can distribute it upon your death. That to me seemed kind of interesting.
that seems really interesting.
Yeah.
There's so many different ideas out there, and there's so many different shows, but, like, you can usually separate the wheat from the chaff pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I saw a pitch last week that was interesting. A guy is he's not looking to compete with, Elon Musk and the Boring Company, but they're looking to do some kind of automated robotic drilling, but more just for, like, trenches for, like,
Mhm.
power lines and things like that. But, there's a lot of money in dry powder out there as, people describe it. There's still money to be made, even though people see a recession coming on, and I've definitely noticed a change in the VC and angels that I'm engaging with. Um, I think there's still plenty of money out there, and I think there's still plenty of concepts that are not great.
Oh, yeah.
But sometimes it's better to have a good sales deck than it is to have a good product, you know? The best product with, some brilliant developer type, founder who doesn't get the sales right, the message right, the story right. Having a better product isn't always the best thing. It's not always the way that you're going to raise that money.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. Um, I was thinking back to you when you're talking about your challenges. I guess, wrapping up the original ideas, what I saw was people weren't selling an idea in this angel stage to Series A area. They actually had revenue. Some of it was really modest. It was really clear that they were all operating, gratis without pay at this moment, but they had people shelling forth money. And I
Yeah.
think that's what the people who are making the pitches are coached to do is get revenue, get a team, right? And that's really hard to do. It's really hard to get people to get on board when you can't pay them.
Yeah.
Um, so that was to me that was the most impressive thing is that they could assemble a team of people that weren't getting paid.
Yes. And so we've accomplished that. We've been able to build a team. We've been able to get a deck. We have been able to start taking revenues, but we need to get our product out there and to get some real solidified partnerships, which is going to bring me in the near term to a space where we're really going to need to do better on our legal side, which is fine, but it is very expensive. And so I'm
Mm,
keeping that on the horizon, but it's going to be very important in how we secure our partner relationships in a
yeah,
way that investors will perceive it as being uh, defensible.
that's interesting.
Yeah.
There are, I think, some law firms that uh, will do work for an equity stake. Ever
Yeah.
run
And
across them?
as we've discussed, there's ways to engage with people, and I'm exploring those, and Discord is one of them. Discord is a wild and interesting world.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Yeah, and so you've been a member for a number of years, and was it your kids that initially brought you into that kind of ecosystem?
Yeah, Discord started originally as a real time communications platform, primarily voice, while you're gaming. So Discord has integrated hooks into like Steam and things like that, just kind of out of the box.
But Discord's
It
more of an additional layer to Twitch. It doesn't really overlap, or is it starting to overlap more now?
doesn't really overlap. Discord has grown from their that was their roots. So it started in 2015, I think,
Yep.
and then I first heard of it 2017, I believe, and or 2016, 2017. My son and his friends were playing a game. I wanted to try it out, and my fast twitch. I used to be good, but my fast twitch isn't what it used to be, right? So I was basically their punching bag. But what I found was that it was really fun to communicate over voice using Discord. So we just trash talk each other while they're basically spawn camping and killing me every time I every
And do
time I respawn.
you
So,
communicate
but
through Twitch or through Discord for that?
Discord.
Through Discord,
So
okay.
you use Discord to talk to each other while you're playing the game, right, in another window. So, but Discord very quickly, people saw, that there's a lot of potential for this. People saw that, okay, well, if you can build in video, you can build in chat. Suddenly you've got a community building platform, and it's really taken off since then. I mean, there's millions of Discord servers at this point, um, and
I
it's
had someone
making it.
I had someone reach out to me on Reddit and invite me to like a startup Slack channel. And I even just said to them, I was like, I'm kind of in this startup Discord channel. What would be the benefit of the Slack? And because there's a lot of similarities then.
There are, there
I
are,
see
and
Slack as being more for like work and work
mhm.
communities, or like different kinds of groups, whereas Discord is very much more like open networking. But he
Yeah.
convinced me to go over to Slack because he's cultivated this group of 600 startups that all like to communicate and support each other in some way.
Oh, interesting. Um, it's I think to an amateur radio club that I have here in town, and we were all communicating on Slack because people were used to it from their work job, and uh, we bumped into some limitations ultimately of what we could do on Slack and migrated as a group over to Discord a couple of years ago, and that's really worked out. Uh, and but yeah, they're very similar to each other in a lot of ways. But I like Discord. I like them both. Um, but it's a community building task, right? So
Discord's, a brave new world for me. I think it's a phenomenal place. It's been a great way to engage, but sometimes for me, there's a little bit of a fog over it because it's not visual and it's all message driven.
mhm.
You have to really dig around, which is great. I mean, that there's some upsides to that, but the downside is that it can be a little bit of a rabbit hole as you start to learn it and all the different sections and who to engage with.
Yeah. And there's some folks that have built some, pretty big communities. I know that you and I both have been digging around on our startups and furlough, and it's pretty interesting. I've gotten anecdotal evidence from other people that use Discord heavily and are in those groups also, that those are not like the others. Like there's a lot of Discords out there that are just sort of around gaming and pop culture and stuff like that, and this one is more business and entrepreneurship oriented, which is cool. There's a place for that, and I think they found their place.
Yeah, I think just for the audience, we're still trying to explore how best we also stream in the Discord space. It seems that some of the servers with the biggest audiences are already kind of a it's already kind of a captive audience to the person who cultivated that space in the first instance. And it's not as easy to create events and create a space to connect with people as it first appears to. So we're still trying to figure that out, how to create events over there so we can have a weekly time, because I would really like to, we would be really interested to engage with the audience over there. So we're open to suggestions and the best ways to do that.
Yeah, it's a challenge, but we've got Reddit, YouTube, LinkedIn, Discord. We're in a lot of places, and
We are in a lot of places, but we need to better delineate our brand and notify people in advance that we're going to be going streaming, or maybe even set up a system to do a live notification when we go live. And that would take a little bit more innovation than what we have on the table, but we could do that. Is there anyone out in Reddit land that has comments on Discord? Or if you want to throw something in the chat, we love to engage with our audience about entrepreneurship, startups. But we would be open to your thoughts and opinions on Discord as well. And what
hmm.
about you, Kyle? Are you facing any challenges in work this week? What's happening?
Yeah, marketing. I think that just figuring out the most effective way to market and get my cost of sales down is pretty top of mind right now. Um,
Have they gone
you
up
know,
with
s-
inflation, or you're just looking to, try to trim them so you can get more revenue for the work you're doing?
yeah, I mean, I haven't noticed any inflationary pressure as much as that. My um, my work is intensely competitive, so kind
Is
of a
it?
hustle business in a way. I got to keep one step ahead, and I'm doing some broad-based marketing. I'm also doing some very narrowly targeted marketing. LinkedIn, use a lot. Google search.
LinkedIn's been a
Um,
great resource for me, and I've put myself out there on Discord recently to say if there's someone that wants to do outreach and would like to get upskilled, that I'd be happy to work with them. Because I do believe one of the things that's interesting about it is, it is expected to be kind of like a two-way street, right?
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you have to give something back to that community and not just continually ask or self promote, which is a double edged sword. I think it comes from a good place, and there's a good reason to have those kinds of rules, but sometimes they seem a little, what's the word I'm looking for? Narrow.
Draconian.
Control. Yeah, there we go. That's the word I was looking for. Draconian. Of course, if you were unmoderated and anyone came onto your Discord channel and said anything they wanted and just constantly spammed everyone, that would be a bad thing. But it's a little bit limiting when you want to engage with people and you kind of get speeding tickets. And
Oh
again, anyone
yeah,
out there on Reddit wants to discuss Discord and their thoughts or entrepreneurship or startups, any questions you have, please hit us up with anything in the chat if you might want to.
I see it.
Um,
I see it happening all the time. If without the moderation, I start getting pinged for crypto pump and dump schemes and things like that on Discord. And it's just there's always somebody out there trying to make a buck without the work.
yeah.
And that's the big challenge. If you wanna do it legit and you wanna do it right and you wanna have it with integrity and character and reputation, you gotta put in the effort, you know? It's there's no other way that I know of.
That that explains a lot about my past year actually, is I spent a lot of time looking for I wasn't like looking for the easy way, but I was looking for that partnership or that tool that was just going to help everything sync and help take everything up to the next level. And ultimately, there's some things that can help you a little bit here or there. But ultimately, you still have to do the hard work. If you want to get something up
Yep.
to the next level, you've got to do it. You've got to be there. There's no magic bullet. There's no person that's going to come along. There's people that do get lucky with some co-founder that's game changing, but for the most part, there's no person that's going to come along and just revolutionize things for you.
No,
You
not
just
at
have to
all.
you have to stick with it and make it happen, and I'm sure that's true with franchising as well, right? Like, just because you buy a franchise, they give you a lot of solutions, but ultimately, that owner, person who buys that business has to make it work.
Yeah, you have to execute. Absolutely. That is true. I think both of those things are true. You gotta bring your game, and you have to be working in concert with people who have brought their game as well. And, that was
Yeah.
something that I, um, heard time and again, from people who are, um, really successful. I mean, even thinking of that video that you sent me yesterday. I watched that whole thing, and, the guys that the guy that the interviewee, said, time and again, he stressed the importance of people that he learned from, all throughout his career, the teams that he was on, the partnerships that he had. He was clearly bringing his game, but also was successful because he was partnering with people who were also bringing their own game.
Yeah, machinery scanner. I like their strategy. I'm interested in their company. I'm also gonna try to partner with them because now that we've built, uh, a widget that's, embedded finance, it's easy to embed, easy to provide to people. A machinery scanner in their marketplace is actually a perfect fit for us. So I'm keen to follow up
Yeah.
and speak to some of those guys. But that was a great podcast yesterday.
Yeah, it was.
It's a very good one.
Well,
Uh,
we're probably at our time, aren't we?
we are coming up to the top of our half hour of time. We are the Founders Way. We are doing a weekly stream at 12 o'clock Eastern, and we will be back on Reddit and back in some of these other live streaming areas. We're still exploring our format. We appreciate all your feedback, and yeah, we're looking to polish this and to develop our base, our listener base.
Right on.
We'll be
Hey,
back.
it's
Hey,
good to
we
see you.
appreciate all your time to listen. Thank you, everyone out there, and we'll catch you next time.
All right, have a good one.